Hello, my name is Dan Faschingbauer, and along with my wife Joanne, we would like to welcome you to LuLaRoe. Today I'm going to show you how we ship out our single orders using first class shipping from ShippingEasy. Alright, so let's go to our Google Drive area where we have our Google Doc, and we'll open up our Google Doc. And this happened to be an album sale, but it could be a Facebook Live sale, it doesn't really matter. And we happen to have 6 responses here. So I will click on the responses tab, but what I need to do now is convert this form into a spreadsheet that can be imported into ShippingEasy. So I'll click on this little green icon over here, and that'll create a Google Doc spreadsheet for me. Now I've already opened this up before, and that's why these rows are highlighted in yellow. I use the color yellow to signify that these people have been invoiced. And the way you can do that is just click on the number here next to the row, and then you can come up here and click on the paint fill color can, and you can make it any color you want. I just happen to make it yellow. And another thing you will need is this timestamp column that the Google Doc creates for you automatically, so you don't have to do anything about this, but you do need this timestamp column here for importing into ShippingEasy. So sometimes there is a problem with some of the East Coast zip codes where the leading 0 gets omitted. In my case, I don't have any, but if I did, what I would do is click the letter above the column of the zip code to highlight that column, then come over here and click on Format, Number, and make it plain text. Now in order to import spreadsheet data into ShippingEasy, it needs to be in a comma separated CSV file, which this is not in that format currently. So what we'll do is we'll come up here and go File, Download as, comma separated values. Click on that. Since I'm using Google Chrome, it downloads the file right here, but I'm going to move that into a folder on my computer. I created a folder called LuLaRoe CSV files. So I'll just slide that file in there, and then I'm going to open it up using Excel, see what it looks like. Alright, sometimes I get an error the first time I try to open it up in Excel. If you do get an error, just close out of the error and try to open it up again, and usually the second time it works fine. So you'll notice here in this timestamp column, you see a bunch of pound signs. If you come up here and you slide this over to expand that column, you'll actually see the date and time. And another thing I make sure I check is the Facebook name. That's the name that I'm going to import into ShippingEasy, and I want to make sure that there aren't any maiden names in the names. For instance, this first one here, I'm going to click here. I'm going to take out the maiden name. I'm missing a capitalization on this one here, so I'll fix that up. And then I happen to know that 2 of these I've already shipped and taken care of, so I'll select that, Control click, select the next one, right mouse button and click on delete, and I'll check my zip codes to make sure they all have 5 digits in them, make sure that nothing got omitted from that leading 0 kind of thing, and I will click on File, Save, click on Yes, and then I'll exit out of this, click on Don't Save here, and just for the heck of it, I could open that up again and make sure that all my changes really did get saved correctly. And it looks like they did. Right, so I'll close out of this, don't save. Alright, so now we can go to ShippingEasy. So log into your ShippingEasy account, and we're going to import the spreadsheet into ShippingEasy. So we'll click on Orders, come down here and click on Upload Orders. Now we're going to browse and find that CSV file that we saved on our computer. So I'll click here, and inside of LuLaRoe CSV files folder, here's my CSV file. So I'll double click that and it puts the file name in here. I can click on upload file. And then you need to map some fields if you haven't already done that. I've already done that and saved my mapping in something called LuLaRoe orders and made it the default, so it automatically comes up for me now. But one of the things you need to do is, it's mandatory because it has an asterisk here that you have an order number. And I'm just going to use the timestamp column out of my spreadsheet as the order number. And then as I scroll down here, the only other thing that's required is the item name. So I'm going to use the detailed description, and it shows you all the different columns of your spreadsheet naming convention. And I just use the detailed description of what was purchased. And then you come down here to the buyer details information. So for full name, it's required. I'm going to use the Facebook name, and that's the column that I modified earlier and took out the maiden names. And if you do use a full name, then you don't need a first name and last name. Shipping address and city and state and zip. And one other thing that's pretty important is their email address. I mapped the email address to email because then they will get an email from ShippingEasy with a tracking number. So that's kind of important. So once you set all this mapping up, then you can save it right here. And as I showed you before, I saved mine as LuLaRoe orders. You just put that name in here and then it'll save it. You only have to do that one time and then you're done. And I've already done that, so I'm not going to do that again today. So I'll click on continue, stretch this out a little bit here. So the spreadsheet loaded over here. So I'll click on ready, and then you can scroll down and correct any mistakes. So as you can see here, this guy here, the text is in gold and it has an explanation mark. So there's some kind of a problem with this address. I don't know what it is. So what I'm going to do is go to Google. So I went to Google and I did a search of their address to see what would come up. And it looks like it does, when I put in City Road D, it actually comes up as County Road D. So let's go back into ShippingEasy, click on that, and take this out of here and put in County Road D. See if it likes that. Click on save. And it took that and my error went away. Alright, so that's what we want there. So all my errors went away. I should be good to go. So now I'll just click on complete upload. And it says you have successfully uploaded 4 orders. That's good. They didn't show up here. So if I click on refresh the page, now they show up down here. So all 4 of these are going to be shipped using the same shipping process, so we can batch them all together. So if I click here, I can select all of them. Click here to group as batch. Alright, so it says created a batch. Now I can come over here and click on create shipments. And when I did that, I got a little orange icon up here saying I've got 1 order ready for shipments. So I can click on shipments, and here all the batches, all 4 of those show up in the batch mode. Now first class is my default. I could change it to priority if I was shipping multiple items, but I'm not, so I'm going to leave it as first class. Carriers USPS. I need to add the weight, so I'm going to click here, edit for all shipments, and it's 6 ounces. And it's just telling you here that this weight will apply to all 4 shipments since they're all batched together. Weigh all 4 of your items, and whatever the heaviest one is, that's what you would put in here. Click on update, and I don't need to put in any dimensions. I'm all concerned about is the weight, and then it gives you the total cost for all 4 of the products. You can click on print later. It says shipments successfully sent. Now if we click on shipments, once we clicked on shipments, it put it into the ready to print area. So if we click on here, ready to print, we'll select here, select the batch, use the pull down, print all, click on labels, so it'll print all the labels. and it sent it to our printer, and we are done. So I hope you found that useful, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.